You are listening to the Lose Weight for the Last Time podcast with me, Laura Conley, episode number 210. OMG, you guys, I am so excited because we finally have our 3-step plan to lose weight without calorie counting live. So go to lauraconley.com/calorie if you want to get that plan. It is so freaking meaty. There's a masterclass in there. There's actually the plan that you will get and create. And then there is accountability. I can't even believe this is like a thing that we are offering and for only $37. I was telling some of my coach friends about it and they're like, wait, what? What do you mean it's only $37? They're like, that sounds like that's like a $1,000 product. So go snag that right now. But this episode is really tied in to that program, that plan, because today we are talking all about why calorie counting isn't the key to weight loss. Now, here's what's so interesting about calorie counting is that calorie counting is kind of like intoxicating because it actually does work when you want to yo-yo, when you do want to lose weight impermanently, when you want to get off 5 pounds, but it doesn't work if what you want is permanent weight loss. It's like my brother, he always teases me. He's like, I don't want to lose weight for the last time. I just want to keep gaining and losing for the rest of my life. I'm like, okay, great. Go for that. I didn't want to do that because that was crazy making for me. I'll never forget. I was on a girls' weekend and I like walked into the room that some of my girlfriends were chatting and they were complaining about tracking calories. They're like, it's so annoying. I don't want to sit there at the end of my meal or at the end of dinner with my family and put everything into an app. I want to just like hang out with my family. I want to be with my family. I don't want to have to spend time away from them entering every little sauce, every little bite, every little ounce into a stupid app. And they were just commiserating. And I was like, oh my God, you guys. I'm like, can we like redo this? Can like we film this? Because this is perfect marketing for me and for my clients. Because of course, you guys know I sell the Yummy Mummy method where we don't calorie count. I tried calorie counting for 20 years. You probably tried it for 20 years as well. It doesn't work. You have the proof. But what's so confusing is that it like almost works, right? It's like that boyfriend or that job that's like almost good, but it's not because it doesn't really give you the result that you want. It's like almost a match made in heaven, but it's really not. So I want you guys to just like admit to yourselves that it doesn't work. It doesn't freaking work. And why doesn't it work? It doesn't work because it's not sustainable. And this can feel like a little confronting or scary to admit to yourself because it could feel like unsafe. It's like, well, why would I go try something else when this like kind of works? And I'm like, well, go try something else, which is the Yummy Mummy method and the 3-step plan that I just told you about. You want to try this because this is what works if you want to lose weight for the last time. So let's like really break apart and break down why calorie counting doesn't work. And again, you guys probably already have the evidence. You probably already know the answer. But when we can paint the picture, you will be more bought into what does work. And I do feel like that is my mission here is to get you bought in on what works because otherwise you're just going to be counting calories for the rest of your life or counting macros or tracking macros in a silly app for the rest of your life. And it's such a waste of time, you guys. And it doesn't get you, like, it doesn't pay off. The ROI isn't there. So why doesn't it work? It doesn't work for a number of different reasons, but the main reason is it doesn't work because it doesn't work. If your goal is permanent weight loss, it doesn't work. You have the evidence. It's not sustainable, so you throw in the towel, right? If you are anything like I used to be, you are eating like 1,000, 1,200, 1,500 calories Monday through Friday, Monday through Thursday. And then on the weekends, you're kind of blowing it. So you're losing 3 pounds during the week and you're gaining 4 on the weekend. And you're like up and down, back and forth, back and forth. And that doesn't really work in the long term. So what also happens is you create so much over restriction. And then because you are in the over restriction cycle, you create over desire. And because you create over desire, you overeat on the weekends. You're over restricting during the week. and then it just blows up, even if you have the best of intentions. Calorie counting doesn't allow us to have enough nutrients, enough food. And again, that creates the over restriction into the over desire. And we can't help ourselves but eat 4 pieces of pizza. We can't help ourselves but have 2.5 cupcakes. We can't help ourselves but eat our pasta and then finish our husband's. Does this sound like you? Oh my God, this was totally used to be me. So I want to invite you into just trying something different. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting a different result, right? Like if nothing changes, nothing changes. So you have to be willing to try something else. Have you guys found yourself in this cycle? What does that look like for you, where you are in a cycle of over restriction? And this can feel like actually kind of easy when you're at the beginning of it, because maybe you're coming off of a weekend where you've just eaten all the things, or a vacation where you've stuffed your face. And so calorie counting can feel easy and even fun and even inspiring when you're coming off a weekend like that. You're like, I know what to do. I can do this. I've got this. But like 3 days in, you're going to lose motivation and you're going to start to over restrict. You're going to start to do a green juice cleanse or bump it down to 800 calories or fill in the blank over restriction thing. Do like a 20-hour fast or a 24-hour fast. Or maybe your over restriction looks like doing 3 a days or 2 a days. Me and my best friend, we used to do fitness days. We used to do fitness days. We would just basically work out the whole day. Like so crazy, crazy stuff. You over restrict, over restrict. It is something that you cannot, it's like a beach ball under the pool water. It will eventually burst. It will pop up. It is a pressure cooker. Human beings cannot live to that level of over restriction. And so we create all of that over desire, and then we overeat or we binge or we throw in the towel, right? It's another thing. That's another reason why calorie counting doesn't work, because it's impossible to not throw in the towel eventually, right? When motivation is strong, you're totally fine. But eventually that motivation wanes. You can't keep that level of motivation. I always talk about that inside the Yummy Mummy method. You actually don't need motivation to lose weight for the last time, but you do need motivation if you're going to calorie count, and you can't rely on motivation. It's unreliable. Same with willpower. It is not a renewable resource. So instead, you need hunger hormone balance and you need healthy, happy restriction, which is exactly what I teach inside the 3-step plan to lose weight without calorie counting. So I really want to encourage you guys to get that, because we break down what is hunger hormone balance? Like, what even is that in the first place? How to do that for yourself so that it is borderline effortless to lose weight. You guys, I remember losing weight for the last time and like actually being scared to step on the scale, because the day before I had eaten food. I hadn't starved myself. I hadn't eaten 780 calories with my knuckles so freaking white, the skin was going to burst. And I would get on the scale and I would get on the scale and I'd get on the scale and I would lose and I would lose and I would lose because my hunger hormones were balanced. And I remember just being so blown away, because I'm like, God, I ate like a normal amount of food yesterday. I ate nutritious, healthy, nutrient dense meals that left me feeling sated. Now, I wasn't like stuffing myself, right? I wasn't overeating. No, I was eating in a way that really supported me. And I remember being so surprised. And this is because I was doing it through hunger hormone balance, which is what you guys will learn through doing this 3-step plan. This is the thing that I'm like, why aren't we teaching this to everybody? You need to have your hunger hormones balanced. Otherwise, calorie counting is impossible. Calorie counting also puts you on a blood sugar roller coaster. So if you are eating, like when I was calorie counting, I'm like, whatever, as long as I stay under 1,200 calories or whatever the count was for that day, I was like, I could eat whatever. But then it would be like 3 p.m. and I'd already eaten all my calories, but I'd be crashing because I ate some processed BS or some really carb dense lunch, and I would crash from it and be starving, and I wouldn't be able to sustain that. So if you are calorie counting, most likely you're riding a blood sugar roller coaster. You're riding a hunger hormone roller coaster. and you're crashing. So you spike your blood sugar, you spike your insulin, you come crashing down, and you are hormonally hungry or hangry. This isn't true physical hunger, but man, does it feel like it. It feels like an emergency. It's just another one of the many reasons calorie counting doesn't actually work, is because you will have an imbalance in your blood sugar and you will find yourself starving and you won't be able to muster through that starvation. You will eventually have to eat. Now, you can do it a couple times, but in the plus it's no way to live, right? I remember getting to the point of like, I'm done doing this. Like, I can't do this anymore because it doesn't work. What am I going to do? Put myself through torture just to gain it back in 6 weeks? Like, it's asinine. It is bananas. It really is the definition of insanity. So I don't want you to work against yourself. I want you to work with yourself. And that is why this plan is amazing, because it helps you to balance your hunger hormones. It teaches you what healthy, happy restriction is. And then it gives you accountability, which is freaking awesome, you guys, because accountability, I mean, have you seen the science behind accountability? Because when you have it, and especially when you pay for it, you are so much more likely. I think the latest stat that I saw is if you have accountability, you are 95% more likely to hit your goal, which is why it is an integral part of the Yummy Mummy method: hunger hormone balance, healthy restriction, and loving accountability. So let me make a note on the healthy and happy restriction, because I can like already hear your energy. I can already hear like the inside of your brain. You're like, oh my God, healthy and happy restriction. I'm not buying it. So you guys, I just want to make a point that you actually do need healthy restriction when you're losing weight for the last time, because healthy restriction is actually what gets us to our goals. So think of any other area in your life, whether it's your marriage or your career or in your parenting or your sleep or with your money. You have healthy restriction. And that is why you have the results that you have, if they're positive, if they're the ones that you want. If you don't, we probably have to implement some healthy restriction. I know I'm working on that with my finances right now, which has actually been really, really fun. So if you don't have what you want, it's probably because you don't have healthy restriction. But we've been taught when it comes to food, we shouldn't have to restrict at all. And we should just be able to eat whatever we want, whenever we want. And like, we're taught that that's like actually good and healthy. And it's not, you guys. Sugar is a white powdery substance that was created to get us addicted and to make big food a lot of money. This isn't actually a food group. No, this was something that was created to give us a huge dopamine hit so that we would come back for more and more and more and more and spend more and more and more and more money. So we actually need healthy restriction when it comes to food if we want to weigh what we want. We've just been taught the opposite. And I don't want you guys to have over restriction, right? Because that over restriction cycle kicks in. You over restrict, you create over desire, you overeat, you realize you've overeaten, you go back to over restriction, over desire, overeat. Now, under restriction, like I just said, it doesn't work either. So we need healthy, happy restriction, which is exactly what the Yummy Mummy method and this 3-step plan that you've got to go get will teach you. And this is a good thing. You restrict again, right? When your boss ups the deadline and sends you an email, you don't unleash on him or her. No, you do not. No, because you want to keep your job, right? You see a hot guy at the bar or freaking hot guy in the slopes, you're not hitting on him. You're not making out with him, right? You got a marriage you want to keep intact. I'm kidding, but I'm not kidding. Look at all other areas of your life. You have restriction. Good job. That's giving you the results that you want. And one of the reasons why you don't weigh what you want is just because you haven't implemented healthy restriction, because our culture has taught us that like you only live once and you should be able to eat whatever you want. And oh, come on. And it's like, yeah, but that doesn't feel good in my body. And like, yeah, but that doesn't give me the results that I want. So like, let me try a new way. All right. So if you guys are picking up what I'm putting down, go ahead and go to lauraconley.com/calorie, Calorie. Oh, and if you don't know how to spell my name, it's Laura. Conley is Conley. No extra letters in there, just Conley. lauraconley.com/calorie. And go get your 3-step plan. You are going to absolutely love it. And this is going to help you crack the code to permanent weight loss, to losing weight for the last damn time. Okay, I cannot wait to hear what you guys think of this plan. I can't wait for you to implement hunger hormone balance and healthy restriction, and really see for yourself why counting calories doesn't work and why there's actually a better and easier way that does if the goal for you is losing weight for the last time, if your goal is permanent weight loss. Okay. So that is what I have for you guys today. I love you guys so freaking much. I hope you have the absolute best week ever. And I will see you and talk to you next week. I love you. Bye, everybody. Ciao, ciao.